Alright, so when you turn it on, it's in neutral in this case. You want to be in neutral. What you do is just pick up the, let's pick up the kickstand, and then let's get into it. So when you hear you're in neutral, you know, full control of the bike, you can push back and forth, it doesn't move, you can rev, nothing happens except for all that power. So here's what I used to do all the time. So this is your clutch lever here. So we're going to pull that in. You pull that in before you change any gears anytime. And I'm going to hit the gear down one time, and now I'm in first. Again, that's pulled in, push that down, now we're in first. Alright, so this is what I usually do, and what a lot of people probably do, and probably why you're here watching this video. Let's do this, all that right there, and you stall. Oh man, when I started, I did that infinity times. I think infinity amount of times. So I had to learn on my own. I mean, I watched YouTube videos too, but for whatever reason, it took me days and days and days to really get it down on my own. So this is kind of what you have to do, right? So let's get it back into neutral before I turn it back on. So neutral, pull in, so we can change gears freely without shutting the bike down or anything like that. Boom, give me one, click down, first. All right. So we have to look for something called the friction zone. It's kind of the zone where while you're releasing the clutch here, the bike starts to move. So it's all about your control of the clutch. I mean, you gotta really have an idea. Let's show you. I'm talking all the way in, slowly, slowly, slowly. This is the whole range. This whole range, you're in the friction zone, you know. And once you let that go, you're either shutting the bike down, or if you're giving it proper gas, you're taking off. So this whole range matters right here. So right now, bike's not moving, but we're already in first. And now, so I'm gonna slowly release. See that? And I'm moving. Let go, and you'll stop. That's the friction zone, the zone where it starts to move, where the bike starts to move without you even having to gas it up. So that zone is what matters. That's what you're looking for every single time you ride the bike, every single time you're about to take off. So again, clutching the whole time, that's, you know, standard. So now let go, slowly, slowly. I'm talking real slow, super slow. See that? Motion's starting to come. The more you let go, more it moves, right? And so you're moving, you can leave your hand at that half little pull, and the bike will start to move. If you let it go a little bit more, you know, go a little faster, a little faster, a little faster. So let's go again. That is what we're looking for. That zone right there is everything. So once we find that zone, again, let's just practice, you know, stay in that zone, get in there, man. Practice squeezing and letting go just enough to get into that zone. All right. So let's say you got that down. You finally can get to this position where you're moving and stopping with ease. So from here, while doing that, give it the tiniest amount of gas, at least to start. Right hand, right? See that? Now, that wasn't the tiniest amount, but basically, you see how while you're like this, and the clutch is still pulled in most of the way, you can do anything, and you're still not really moving. So let's back up a little bit. Now let's give it a go. So give it some release, release, release. Now for my bike, and most bikes I'd assume, early in the friction zone, because there's a range of this of friction zone. It's like no power, friction, 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 end of friction, and then shut the bike down. Basically, that's the range right there. So when you're in the early stages of friction zone, meaning you barely get them to move on your own, and you rev it, nothing happens. So what you need to look for is the end of that friction zone, or nearer to the end of the friction zone at least. So see how it moves a lot faster than before? Now I can give it some gas while I'm still letting go slowly, while I'm letting go, and I let go. Boom. Let's do a take two on that. I'm gonna flip a bitch. do it again. So first gear, let's assume you're in neutral, whatever you want to, wherever you start, neutral or first, right? Bike's on. Boom. So, let's see. So, start the bike up. Neutral, everything's gravy so far. Everything looks good. Pull that clutch in. Pull that clutch all the way in. Kick yourself down in the first. Hand still clutching right the whole time. Clutch controls it all basically. Alright, so find that friction zone. So again, no power, tiniest bit of movement, more friction, hitting the end of the friction zone, and then shut the bike down, right? All the way. Now, let's just go ahead and do it again. I'll start it while it's in first this time. Again, you gotta be pulled in. So for starting the bike up while in first or any other gear other than neutral, clutch has to be in while you're starting it. So there we go. We're in first gear already now. So we're in the beginning of the friction zone here. Barely moving, slow pace move. And now let go more, talking millimeters per. Now you got some real speed going, see that? Still no gas actually. Tiniest bit of gas. Hear the engine getting louder? While I'm releasing the clutch. Boom.